Greetings and welcome to episode 206 of the Words About Gamescast, the weekly video game podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Alexander. I'm joined this week by Monsieur Moudet.
Howdly doodly do.
I gave it a French twist. Monsieur.
Yeah. I don't know any French words. Sorry.
I think we discussed this once on a podcast because I remember mentioning the only word I remember is sausage. That's because it's funny to say. Saucy sauce. Saucy sauce. I need to shout it in
Japanese. Arigato.
Arigato. I should know more Japanese. I should know more Japanese than I do, considering the amount of anime I've watched in the past couple of months.
True.
But it just doesn't sink in.
It never does for me when I watch sub neither.
When I watch subs, I'm off the anime at the moment. I'm rewatching Fringe, which is amazing. Even better the third time around, I think I'm watching it for. And then She-Ra is on Netflix, so I've got Netflix back, so I'll probably be off anime for a few weeks.
I just watched the first episode of She-Ra.
Wow, you've got an incredible journey ahead of you.
Yeah, everyone says that. Yeah, I saw our friend Keith's tweet yesterday, or Saturday of there from Monday, because this is Monday when it's going to come out. The motion he put in that tweet, I was thinking, damn, man.
It ruins you, emotionally. The season finales especially are just it's good amazing. Punches. He got me into it, because I hadn't seen any of it. I started watching it season 3, but it's only been on for a couple of years. The seasons have been coming out really fast. But yeah, he mentioned it, and I was like, all right, cool. It sounds pretty cool. So I watched it, and then I was like, oh, fuck. This is amazing. Shit.
Well, it's from DreamWorks, and they did Voltron, and I very much liked Voltron. Voltron was very good. I had a lot of fun with that.
Nice. I haven't seen Voltron. Again, it's Netflix month. I have to juggle my subscriptions, so My Hero Academia is on pause, Netflix, and then I'll go back to Funimation and I'll watch My Hero Academia, and then I'll probably go on to Disney and do Mandalorian, and it's just like a whirlwind going round and round and round.
Whole whirlwind. Yeah.
But anyway,
whole world.
This isn't a TV show podcast. Although I did think about starting one of those once. This is the Words About Games cast. Every single Monday, we discuss what's been going on in gaming, the games industry, and gaming culture over the past 7 days. I mean, you should take a look at the future too. If you're gonna hold that for this entirely new intro, you've got some time, because this intro's expanded. Okay. In this week's episode, we discuss the news, including Epic's big Unreal Engine 5 reveal, the Culling returning with a baffling new payment model, what Ubisoft's recent financial call means for the next 12 months, and more. Then, we'll go over all the new game announcements, release dates, and delays that happened over the past week, give you a content drop where we recommend some articles you should read and videos you should watch, tell you what games are coming out this week, before playing OpenCritic Head-To-Head, where we guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. And as always, we'll wrap the show up with a post-show discussion about whatever's on our minds. There are timestamps in the description below the video on YouTube, so you can watch this episode in any order you want if you just want to cherry-pick certain pieces of it, or if you want to watch the whole thing backwards. We don't mind. We're just happy that you're here.
Hell yeah.
That's it. You can put your arms down now.
Thank God.
Yeah, it's a whole new day for the Words About Gamescast. I've reworked some stuff, I've added some stuff, I've separated stuff out into different sections. We've come a long way from how this podcast started, which was we blatantly ripped off the Kind of Funny Gamescast, where we just did 4 topics. Everyone brought their own topic.
Yeah.
And then we discussed those 4 topics, and we released them Monday to Thursday. I could probably still do the intro for that. I think it's ingrained in my memory.
Well, that's it. All podcasts, we steal from everything.
Yeah, but we've evolved.
We don't steal. We're inspired.
We were inspired, yeah. I ripped off. I mean, was inspired by the Kind of Funny Gamescast in its original form. It doesn't do that anymore. And then we've evolved from there, and now we're our own thing. We're not quite like any other podcast. I mean, probably are like hundreds of podcasts because there's literally millions of them, but none that I watch.
Yeah.
So
None
that's
that
good
is
enough
as
for me.
glorious as this.
No. But let's do the news. We've got some news.
Let's do it.
Some stuff happened. It's Summer Game Fest, Moody.
Yes.
And speaking of Summer Game Fest, the Unreal Engine 5... let me try reading the actual headline that's in front of me.
Speaking of it again.
Rewind. Bing! Unreal Engine 5 announced with gorgeous PS5 demo. This is from Matt Kim over at IGN, who writes, Epic Games revealed the first look at Unreal Engine 5, its next-generation game engine designed with features meant to make game worlds more detailed and dynamic. To show off the power of its new game engine, Epic released a real-time tech demo called Lumen in the Land of Nanite, which runs live on the PlayStation 5. Lumen in the Land of Nanite is a fully playable title made up of Unreal Engine 5's two new tools, Lumens, a dynamic global illumination tool, and Nanite, a virtualized geometry that lets artists import film-quality art and assets into Unreal Engine. The demo shows a woman venturing into a rocky cavern and discovering a hidden temple. The demo makes a particular point to highlight how light and objects react dynamically, and the demo ends with a thrilling fight through a crumbling canyon. All of the assets and visuals in the demo are reacting in real time, meaning the PlayStation 5 is processing the demo as it happens. Quote. Oh, I said that in a very posh voice. Quote. I think a lot of people will ask, oh, is the demo real? But you know, that demo was grabbed from the back of a PlayStation 5 development kit, says Epic Games CTO Kim Library in an interview with IGN. An HDMI cable went into a disc recorder and played out real time. No editing, no tricks. That's what comes off the box. End quote. Incidentally, Sweeney made clear that the SSD in the dev kit is far ahead of current high-end PCs. Epic Games founder and CEO Tim Sweeney explained the Unreal Engine 5. I've got to stop saying Unreal 5, right? Because people are going to get the wrong end of the stick and think I'm talking about Unreal Tournament 5, which doesn't exist. And they might get excited. Yeah. They've announced a new game? No, it's an engine. Epic Games founder and CEO Tim Sweeney explained Unreal Engine 5 is meant, quote, to do things that are absolutely not possible today, end quote. This means offering new levels of photorealism and visuality, but also offer these tools in a way that increases the productivity and efficiency of game developers. Quote, Lumen and Nanite are not just order of magnitude leaps in visual quality, but they're also greatly simplifying technologies for the artists who build content, says Sweeney. The goal, according to Kim Library, is to make game worlds as immersive and realistic as modern movies, but where that goal differs from previous game generations is how interactive that realism is. Epic is quick to point out the quality of the assets used for the demo, which they say are film-quality assets as opposed to the ones typically used for video games. While movie-level visuals are often high quality, video game assets are lower resolution and are buoyed by development tricks to make them seem more realistic. I'm going to skip the quote because it says what I just said. What's more, Epic says that the level of quality seen in the demo is going to be easier to replicate, especially from smaller developers who previously didn't have the scale or time to render games at this level. Assets at this kind of level and quality will be available on the Unreal Store for other developers to easily use. Skip that quote too. Epic Games also announced that it's waiving royalties on the first $1 million in game revenue starting today, meaning developers using Unreal Engine will keep more of their profits. Epic Online Services is also available to make cross-platform play easier. Big day for Epic. Last Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of the two.
Tuesday-ish. Days have no more meaning in the world ravaged by the C virus.
Yep. What is a day right now?
What is a day? When does one day begin and another day end?
That is true. That is true.
What do you think?
It's all been a Sunday for the last 3 weeks.
It's all been. It's yeah. I've had this weekend, man. Feels like it's lasted for like 8-9 weeks.
Basically, yes. Back to what you were asking. This was awesome. I won't deny it. When you saw it, it was beautiful. It was crisp. It was sexy as hell. It was a fantastic little demo that was revealed, but slashly dropped before the reveal, which was kind of a bit irritating, but that didn't bother me at the end. It's just knowing what the tool can do for you. and do for help with developers and everything like that. Like myself, who is learning in Unreal Engine 4 right now, to know that this is going to be out sometime next year, and I'm going to be able to get into it and have a crack at it. That's even more, and to know it's going to be a lot more helpful and easier than number 4 was. It's just fantastic. It's going to make so much more, make the game so much more simpler to make, and that's what we want in everything. So it could shorten the time from development, and that's what we want. And it looked beautiful. It was great. It was fantastic. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people saying it was in PlayStation 5. Yay!
Oh God, I know. Oh, I mentioned that to you we were streaming Apex on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And when I took a break in the stream, and I was like, I made a mistake. I checked Twitter. I checked the comments, the replies. That was the issue. Like, I saw the tweet about it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll click the replies, and oh my God, it's like, oh, PlayStation 5 looks so much better than Xbox. Like, over and over again. Like, it's the Unreal Engine. It's an engine. It's gonna run on Xbox and it's gonna run on PC. Like,
also been confirmed it's gonna work on Nintendo Switch as well.
Yeah, like, games might not look that good on the Switch, but it's just an engine. Like, and it was just a tech demo. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the discourse was.
I just want to hit your head with something, don't
I kind of do, yeah. Like, trying targeted memory loss. I think I'll find the part of my brain that stores that particular memory and just hit it off the wall, like, until I forget it.
Yeah, the fandoms can be a bit nutty sometimes, passionately nutty.
It's one way to describe them.
Yeah, but this is, like I said, this is absolutely fantastic. And a little caveat at the end with what you said about the announcement of waiving royalties for the first 100 million in revenue starting today and everything. That's just even more just like epic. Like, I can appreciate, like, when it comes to the store, like what we've already talked about, the store isn't as crisp and as beautiful and as smooth as the Steam's store and everything. But Epic is doing nothing but literally, pardon the pun, epic thing.
Yeah, it's like, okay. On the one hand, like, Steam definitely has some features that the Epic Game Store doesn't have. On the other hand, Epic Game sales tend to be better, and also the Epic Game Store as a whole isn't a toxic cesspit full of horrible people and horrible games. So it swings and roundabouts, really, like.
And they've also got the arguably most profitable game ever of all time on there right now with GTA 5.
And, they fund game development, like, in multiple different ways. So, like, games get made because of Epic.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't hate on them
what
too
Jeff
much.
Keighley does. Basically, just Jeff Keighley wants to support them and talk about them and talk to developers. They literally fund them and make sure that these games are going to get created for you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not forget that. These are for you.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I love it.
I'm typing in the wrong thing. I was meant to do the other thing. Yeah, like, the Epic, like, I'm not going to say they're saints. I'm sure they're not. Like, no. I'm sure there's reasons why, they suck, just like every massive corporation sucks. But at the end of the day, they do a lot of cool things. And I just hate the discourse around it. Here it is. I retweeted a tweet from Jennifer Sherrill earlier in the week when she was talking about it, and then there was one tweet in particular in this thread, which was, I'm getting a lot of replies saying that it, like, talking about why Epic gets hate. And she replied to her own thread, I'm getting a lot of replies saying that it's about the inconvenience of multiple launches. And sure, that's not super neat, but I'm just going to say it. Maybe you're not a real gamer if a minor inconvenience like this means you want fewer games to be made for you to play. It's the last part of the sentence that's just like, I like games.
Yeah.
And I might bitch about, like, how many games there are at any given moment, but I like different types of games.
Like, we complained literally, 4 weeks ago, when 1 week there was no games getting released at all, ladies and gentlemen. It felt wrong. It felt dirty.
We couldn't even play our OpenCritic game. And then, like, 2 weeks later, it was like there's 10 games, and when I was like, Too many games. Too many games. Too many games. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm never happy.
Yeah. But no, yeah, it's absolutely... I love this. I think it's fantastic. I can't wait.
I do. Like, I'm aware that the quality in that tech demo isn't going to be... Like, I'm not going to boot up Godfall on my PS5 later this year. And, I mean, I might not boot up Godfall at all, we'll see. But it's the only PS5 game I can think of. Like, I'm not going to boot that game up and expect it to look anywhere near as good as this tech demo. Because that's what tech demos are like. Like, I download them on PC when the graphics card people, NVIDIA, release them. And I, like, download them and I watch them. And I'm like, this looks amazing. But at the same time, that's 5 years from now. Like,
yeah,
it's exciting. The thing that excited me is the same thing that excited you, where it was like, when they were talking about, like, how much easier it is for like, game developers to make games, like, smaller teams specifically. Like, that's cool. That excites me, like, a great deal. I mean, I'm always wearing freaking t-shirts with indie game, like, with indie games on them because I love indie games. Like, so the idea of, like, a small development team being able to make, like, pick up Unreal Engine 5 and being able to make something that's, like seamlessly, like, not different at all from, like, The Last of Us. Like, in terms of, like, that graphical fidelity, that quality, and being able to turn it around quickly and easily. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, I'm down.
It really is. Like I said, this is just absolutely fantastic. It's just even better for me, who wants to become a developer. So
yeah, it's better for Moody, therefore I'm 2 thumbs up. I'm fully supportive. It's better for Moody, therefore ding. Although, if Moody becomes a successful game developer, I might need to find a new podcast co-host. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's 2 thumbs down.
See if you get sick of me, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. You might be glad. It's 2 thumbs up. I got rid of him.
I mean,
like, even have to sack him.
I mean, on last week's podcast, I said I would never fire you, and then 3 days later, I fired you on Twitter because you had never played Alan Wake. So yeah. I'm a fickle bitch. It's basically.
Aren't we all, ladies and gentlemen? We're fickle people.
Also, it's only a sentence in this story, but, like, I do want to point out the part where Epic Online Services has also been made available, because that's lobbies, that's matchmaking, that's, like, all of the front end and back end for multiplayer. So if you're making a multiplayer game, you can use Epic Online Services in Unreal Engine 5 to make that work. And again, that's probably... I imagine that's simpler than trying to code your own entire fucking multiplayer net code from start to finish, so... That's also a win.
Probably.
Hopefully it means less games with no online multiplayer mode. For those of us who, don't have friends that they can invite into their tiny room where no one fits to try and play a couch co-op game.
Still waiting for you to get multiplayer moving out.
Come on, moving out.
Like,
I don't own you on Steam.
Multiplayer moving out.
We literally sat down to play it and couldn't on a live stream. Terrible.
And got slapped in our faces.
We did. Let's move on.
Move on.
I don't know if I've got the words to describe what I think about this. The Culling is making an unexpected return with a baffling business model. This is from Fraser Brown over at PC Gamer, who writes, "The saga of Xaviant's small-scale battle royale, The Culling, is a twisted, tangled affair that led to not 1 but 2 games being killed off. But now it's coming back for some reason. Starting on Xbox One, a PC version is also in the works. The original game was a solid battle royale affair that stood out from the PUBG likes thanks to a focus on melee and smaller battles. Unfortunately, it didn't have much staying power, which prompted Xaviant to halt development on only a few months after it launched and switch over development to a sequel. Players didn't really take to the Culling 2, which ditched most of the things that made its predecessor different from most battle royales, instead aping the likes of PUBG and Fortnite. Only a few weeks after its release, Xaviant pulled the plug. That wasn't the end of the Culling, however, with the original rebranded as The Culling Origins, along with going free to play. The do-over went live in September 2018, but by May 2019 it was shut down. 2 versions of the game were killed off within the space of a year. Now, the Culling Origins is being resurrected. Unfortunately, it comes with a baffling business model that I'm still trying to untangle. That's the writer's words, not mine. First off, you'll have to buy yourself a copy, unless you bought the original or played it when it was free to play. And that initial purchase will only get you so far. You'll be able to play 1 match every day, but to play more you'll have to spend tokens. Packs of tokens require yet more purchases, or you can shell out for online passes that last for either 7 days or a month. Here's the bullet points. Players can only play
like this.
1 match online each day. Players can play additional matches through the following means. Number 1, winning an online match grants an online match token. Number 2, packs of online match tokens can be purchased. 3 tokens for 99 cents, 10 tokens for $2.99, 20 tokens for $4.99. Online passes providing unlimited online play can be purchased for 7 days, $1.99, or 30 days, $5.99. Xaviant says it shifted its monetization approach to ensure that players will be able to visit the island for years to come. And then there's, some commentary at the end of that article. I'll just leave that.
So, okay, after listening to what you've just said there, so basically this is what's happened. This is clearly what's happened to them, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we've got a battle royale. It's very popular. Let's make one and throw it out and we'll make millions and gazillions of pounds and money and dollars and whatever. Oh, we're not being successful. Oh, because we're different from the other ones and they want that one. Okay, so we'll cancel this one and we'll go and make it 2. And we'll change it up to make it like PUBG and Fortnite and all those ones that are making bazillions and gazillions of money. Oh, they don't like that and we're still not making money. Okay, we'll close that and cancel 2 games in 1 year. Now we'll come back and do this one and just decide to rip people off and piss people off so we can constantly say, like it says, to be able to visit our island for years to come so we can steal your money for years to come. You greedy sons of bitches! This is disgusting! You vile, vile people or business people. I don't care who you are. You disgusting gits. And I'm literally holding back all the swears. Like, so much. So much I want to swear so badly. But in the worst ways. And I frown on that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go to the dark side. You vile, corrupt, evil gits.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is disgusting. It really is. You can literally tell what it is right now. It's money grab, and that's all it is. Nothing more, nothing else. And then they saw, EA made a lot of money from Battlefront 2, even though they got a lot of people complaining about them. They still made a lot of money, so we'll just do that.
We just do that, yeah, because there was no other, relevant thing which said why Battlefront made money. Like, it's not like there was some massive IP attached to the name of it that got people excited to buy the game. Not at all. Yep. I was gonna offer because I remember we covered the Culling 2 on the podcast when that happened, because that was a fun fiasco, and I was gonna offer to talk you through like what happened with the Culling 2, but you kind of summed it up perfectly with your bit at the beginning where it was like, yeah, let's make a game that's more like PUBG and Fortnite, because people are like, oh no, we've released this sequel months after the first one and now we've lost all of the players of our original game. Yeah.
They just tried for a quick buck.
And now we've done this.
A quick buck, and they failed on multiple occasions, and now they want to try and just... They're not even hiding it. That's the thing. They've literally come out and literally just said, this is what you're going to do. If you want to play this game and you want to play it multiple days and multiple weeks, give us more money. No.
Multiple times in a day. Like, you can play 1 match a day. Can you imagine if you could only play 1 match of Apex Legends a day?
If we are talking about this by the end of the year or sometime throughout this year, of that this one's been cancelled, I will be very surprised, because when you've got games like Fortnite, what is free, Apex, which is free, PUBG, well, it's not free, but it's not. You're not
It's
you're not
cheap.
throwing out tons of money just to play multiple rounds for that game
No, like I bought that game in whenever it came out,
when it came out.
2017,
Yeah.
2018, whatever it was, and I could play it now. I could download it on my Xbox and play it right now, and not have to worry about spending any extra money.
Even Activision have a battle royale that is free right now, ladies and gentlemen.
It's the
Yes,
only
that might
way.
change in
Yeah,
the future because that's Activision, but there it's free. And you can play it many rounds as many times as you want. As this is like, oh my god, this is incredibly. Oh no, I can't.
I'm
Keep
glad.
going.
I'm glad you've said things because I looked at that. I looked at that like breakdown of monetization, like how it's monetized, and I was just like, I was beyond like, I don't know, like even now I'm struggling. And
It's like the Konami thing. You want to save your game? Give us
oh, it was the
$10.
best. But yeah, no, you had to buy insurance for Mother Base in Metal Gear Solid 5. So if people came and stole your stuff while you weren't playing, I remember that. Yeah, I remember doing the podcast when we were talking about that, and it was like, that's a nice base you've got there. Be a shame if anything happened to it. This is an arcade. Essentially, this is an arcade.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, do you know what people love? People love arcades. Why don't we just there you are. Why don't we just charge them like they're in arcades? Be great. We'll make loads of money.
I can understand it if it was just put out into an arcade place. Fine. That's what they're there for. But not for a game that you're putting on consoles, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, it's on Xbox. That's why I can't find it.
This is disgusting.
The Culling Origins Xbox. I want to check something because there was an insinuation in that article, and I want to double check. There you are. That's a film. There's a film called The Culling.
Yeah.
Alright, it's available for free. Alright, cool. I didn't know whether you had to pay for the game or not. But it's on Steam, because it was the original game on Steam, so you can play the game on Steam if you had the original, and it's going to launch at some point for everybody else. But the first three, I typed in the Culling Origins Xbox One store, and the first three news articles that came up on Google was, the first one that comes up was Culling now available exclusively on Xbox One, which is from 2017, which is when the first one came out. The second one was from September 2018. The Culling delisted from a Microsoft store. And the third one is the Culling 2 being removed from Xbox store. Those are the top three Google results if you search that. On
it's
Steam.
It's surprising to me that Microsoft have allowed them to put them on their console.
They might not have even known, like, number one, they might not have even known, like, what the business model for this game was, right? Beyond, you don't have to pay. It's a free to download game. I'm not going to say it's a free to play game because it's not. It's a free to download game. But, like, does Microsoft really care? Like, it's going to go on the console. They're not publishing it. It's got nothing to do with them. It's just a game that Xaviant have made and released. And no one's going to play it. That doesn't really bother them, though, does it?
Not at all. No one's going to play it whatsoever. This is just, oh my god.
And it's coming to Steam anyway.
Like...
I give it a month tops.
Like I said, yeah, if we aren't talking about it, that it's been cancelled, I will be very surprised if we aren't talking about it by the end of 2020.
And then we'll have the hat trick.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Let's take the guessing. Let's play the guessing round, Amy.
Yeah, the guessing round. Not this again. I hate guessing. Ubisoft has so many IPs that I want to see come back that I can't play this guessing game with any sort of like impartiality. Because as soon as someone's like, so what mystery game do you think Ubisoft? And I just scream Splinter Cell. Like, before my brain has a chance to stop my mouth from saying something, I'm just like, Splinter Cell, please. Blacklist was amazing. Anyway, Ubisoft teases one more AAA mystery game to be released in 2020 to 2021. This is from Jonathan Dornbush over at IGN, who writes, earlier this year, Ubisoft teased it would have 5 major AAA games set to be released in its next fiscal year. And as part of its most recent earnings call, the publisher reaffirmed that commitment while also confirming 4 of those games and teasing one in an unannounced franchise will be the 5th game. In its fiscal year 2019 to 2020 report, Ubisoft confirmed that Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, Gods and Monsters, and Rainbow Six Quarantine. Alright, pause for a second. Real talk. Do you think they're going to rename that game?
Yes.
Given everything.
Yes, definitely. Probably Rainbow Six Safe Zone. This is the safe zone, people.
What's the opposite of quarantine? That's what we'll call it. Rainbow Six Freedom.
Freedom, yeah.
Yeah, so Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six are 4 of its 5 previously teased AAA games coming in the new 2020 to 2021 fiscal year. Meanwhile, the 5th game is from a yet-to-be-announced franchise, seemingly indicating it is part of a non-property in the Ubisoft portfolio. However, Ubisoft did not explain further at this time, and so it remains to be seen whether that game could be a new Splinter Cell, a new Far Cry, a new Prince of Persia, the frequently delayed Skull and Bones, or something else. Ubisoft, of course, also has in the works Beyond Good and Evil 2, but during that previous earnings report, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot said at the time the long-awaited sequel was not one of those 5 games. We'll talk about that sentence in a second. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the most likely candidate for one of these 5 games, as its reveal came alongside with a promised holiday 2020 launch, including on Xbox Series X and PS5. Meanwhile, Ubisoft unexpectedly delayed Watch Dogs Legion, Gods and Monsters, and Rainbow Six Quarantine from their early 2020 launches to allow for the next-gen versions as well. It's Far Cry, right? Can we set it?
Far Cry, yes.
We'll just shut this conversation down. It's Far Cry. Cool. Moving on.
When the Lord and Mighty himself from Bloomberg...
did Jason tweet as well?
Yeah, Jason. No, I've chatted. Jason already talked about this before, that they were going to be releasing 5 new games between now and the end of the financial year in 2021, and he named them all. And he says basically the other 2 who were not announced at the time were the new Assassin's Creed and the new Far Cry. He also said, anyone expecting Splinter Cell, good luck. And I even asked him a question of, have you heard anything for Beyond Good and Evil 2? And he says nothing.
No.
He says no. He replied to me saying, no, I haven't heard anything. And I was just like,
when I saw that, they did the reveal at E3. Which, by the way, I just want to point out, Yves Guillemot says in the earnings report that the long-awaited sequel was not one of these 5 games. Well, Yves, I remember an Instagram post from just before the E3 you revealed Beyond Good and Evil 2, which said that Beyond Good and Evil 2 would not be at E3. And how did you end the show? You ended the show with Beyond Good and Evil 2. You lied. That's not cool. But anyway, the next year when they showed the gameplay, I saw that gameplay. And I'm pretty sure we said it when we talked about it because we were streaming our reactions at the time where I was like, this is a next-gen game.
Oh, yeah, it's a next-gen game.
This is a next-gen game, 100%.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's probably... You got to think it might be their 2021 game, their fall 2021 game, because I can't see them having an Assassin's Creed 2021. I believe it's already been announced that it was on our friend's podcast that that we know there's DLC coming for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So
yeah.
that's probably going to take up 2021 for them. That's their 2021 Assassin's Creed content, I guess. But it's not going to be a brand new game until 2022. So that's the only thing for Beyond Good and Evil 2. That's got to be for me.
It's felt like for the last couple of years, because Far Cry has always been an early, whatever year X game. Like, it always comes out in the beginning part of a year. And Assassin's Creed always comes out in fall/holiday time. And when they were doing Watch Dogs Legion and they were doing Assassin's Creed Odyssey and they were already talking about not being a yearly franchise anymore, it felt like for the last couple of years that their goal, before they delayed everything, their goal was to leapfrog, like Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed. So you have Assassin's Creed come out, and then you have Watch Dogs, and then you have Assassin's Creed, and then you have Watch Dogs, and delays and whatnot have obviously hampered that somewhat.
Yeah.
But we just gotta like, maybe Beyond Good and Evil 2 is that gap filler, because now that Watch Dogs Legion's been so far delayed from where it was supposed to be coming out, like they're not going to fill in the gap next year with Watch Dogs 4, because that would be like a year and a half later. That would be a terrible idea. So maybe there is going to be another game, because I don't think they want to go through another year where they don't have a big release in the holiday period. So maybe Beyond Good and Evil 2. Maybe Skull and Bones finally comes out. But
well, I think that's good. I think that's going to be 2021, but it's going to be after the financial earnings.
Yeah. Like Prince Persia's dead. Splinter Cell's dead. Rayman's probably dead at this point. Like, we'll see those games. We might see those franchises get smaller scale revivals during the next generation, but for right now, none of those franchises are imminent. Unfortunately,
it is weird when it comes to like the Splinter Cell, because everyone's calling for it. Well, not everybody, but you know what I mean. Like when it comes to the hardcore fans and everyone's like, please, 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 please. The only thing I can think of is that they just Splinter Cell's the last one at least did not sell as well as the obviously the last one, compared to what obviously Assassin's Creed has done, and obviously what Far Cry has done, and everything like that. And obviously they're obviously putting their bets on at least. You got to think, if this Watch Dogs Legion doesn't sell well, you're probably thinking that's it for Watch Dogs. Because 2, even though it got critical acclaim, it didn't sell as well as 1, I don't think.
Because 1 sucked. Like, that was the problem.
They got the backlash. Just like from Unity to Syndicate. Unity sold well, but it was completely a broken mess. When it came to Syndicate, which was arguably a good game and worked, it didn't sell well. And so what happened? They took a break for a year.
Ubisoft,
good idea.
In this earnings report, Ubisoft announced that Watch Dogs 2 had sold more than 10 million copies by the end of the fiscal year.
Which is fantastic.
So that's fantastic. So yeah. I don't think Watch Dogs is in any danger, even if Legion underperforms, which I don't think it would, because Watch Dogs is, 1, that reveal was really well received, which gives the game positive buzz, and 2, Watch Dogs 2 is much more positively talked about than Watch Dogs 1, and again, that gives the game some positive buzz, so it's got momentum. But yeah, like, Ubisoft has this habit of releasing like a stinker in a franchise, and then the next game suffers for it. Like Unity and Syndicate, like Watch Dogs and Watch Dogs 2.
Splinter Cell excuse then, because you said the last game was really good.
The last game was great. Splinter Cell Blacklist was a great game, but you're right, it didn't sell well, because I'm pretty sure the game before it was Conviction. And I'm just going to double check that. Because if it was, Conviction was very divisive. It was. Splinter Cell Conviction was the game before it. Don't open the trailer for it, thank you. Yeah, Splinter Cell Conviction was a divisive game, because it was very much more action focused as opposed to stealth focused, whereas Blacklist let you either be full stealth or full action, or what they called Predator, which was stealthy but you kill people as you move through the level. Whereas Conviction was very much an action movie. So there was a lot of people that didn't like it, which is probably what prompted less people to buy a Blacklist. But we see the wild card in this whole situation is the big reshuffle that happened, that we talked about at Ubisoft either earlier this year or last year, where they're trying to diversify the games that they make by, like, because like all of the games that they made kind of went through. Was it like 1 or 2 people? And that's why all of their games felt quite samey over the last few years. So they've tried to diversify that. Honestly, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I mean, I still regret having played that game, but it seems like it's done Ubisoft a massive favour by tanking in all of the ways that it did.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, yeah. Hopefully, like I said, they've pushed it back. Because like I said, these 5 games are all meant to be out before their financial call, which obviously March 31st.
Yeah, everything except
So
Valhalla. So the other 3 games, Watch Dogs, Gods and Monsters, and Rainbow Six Quarantine. I mean, we were supposed to be playing them all. We should have already played all of those games by now.
Yeah.
Like,
God of Monsters, I was never surprised that was delayed because we never got any gameplay for it. We just got shown a trailer.
same with Rainbow Six Quarantine. We got shown a trailer for it and didn't see anything of it. And yeah, well, Watch Dogs Legion was a surprise because we got a hefty gameplay demo. And then it got delayed. Did it get delayed twice? It was supposed to come out at the end of last year, right?
Yes, I believe so. And yes, I think it was delayed twice.
And then it got delayed again. Because everything. Ubisoft just delayed everything again. Probably a lot of that had to do with their reshuffling in response to Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Yeah, going back to what I was... I completely forgot what I was going to say at the time. It's come back to me now. They're going to be releasing 5 games because you got obviously they are pushing towards to go have all these on next gen. They're going to have like 5 games coming pretty close together. You got to think.
Well,
I'm guessing Rainbow Six Quarantine, which is obviously I believe it's going to be attached to a Siege, isn't it? It's just going to be attached to that, isn't it?
no, it'll be a standalone thing. I think.
I thought it was just like DLC for it or something. Didn't realize it was a separate thing. Because it's the same characters in it from Siege.
Says Rainbow Six operators face off against a totally new breed of mutated alien parasite infecting human hosts and their surroundings. And I'm pretty sure it's set on a space station? I don't know. It's the game I infamously said this to Keith on a podcast last year. It's the game I keep forgetting exists until I read its name.
Yeah.
In a news story where it's like, yeah, it's the release timings of all 5 of these games are what interests me the most. Far Cry is going to come out in March 2021.
Yeah, probably. It's probably going to be the last game that releases, yeah.
Like, Valhalla and Watch Dogs, like in 2013, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and the original Watch Dogs both came out at around about the same time. So I could see Ubisoft not having any qualms whatsoever about putting out Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion at around the same time.
I think Valhalla's going to, if they come out at the same time, Watch Dogs is going to get
Valhalla's going to get swallowed. Valhalla's going to swallow Watch Dogs, but
yeah,
I'm pretty sure Black Flag swallowed Watch Dogs anyway. So, but anything that goes near Valhalla from Ubisoft's perspective is probably going to get swallowed. Because the other 2, Rainbow Six Quarantine is going to be a niche game, and Gods and Monsters is a new IP. But it's like, where did you even put those? So, like, you have Far Cry come out in March. You put one of these other 2 games out in February. Ubisoft have never touched January.
I think they could this time. I think Gods and Monsters could go in January.
I think we'll probably get one in October, one in November, one in the first week of December. Like, right, because the first week of the December is like the unspoken cutoff point for big games coming out.
So it doesn't get nominated for the Game Awards.
So it doesn't get nominated for the Game
2021.
Awards. Like Star Wars and Pokemon. Or Smash Bros.
Are they going to get put into that this year?
Well, they're
Do you
up
think
for
they're
it.
going to be nominated for Game of the Year?
No. The issue is, right, like, because all of these games are nominated by games critics. Or like the people from the various outlets that are part of the panel. And who of them is going to have played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order or Pokemon Sword and Shield in October 2020? Like, the only reason Smash Brothers got nominated is because there were probably people at all of these outlets who were still playing it and remembered it existed. Because they were still playing it.
Pokemon's going to get kept on playing because it's got DLC coming out.
And?
It's one of the biggest games they have, so I think Nintendo's going to be fine with that.
It's one of the biggest games they have. There's no other game on Nintendo Switch that every single person in the freaking game critics community is going to be playing over Pokemon in October, November, December, until 2025.
Oh, 2025, well, that's when the sequel comes out. Eh?
When New Horizons 2 comes out. We all go to space.
Get it right here, ladies and gentlemen, 2025. Animal Crossing
space.
New Horizons 2 goes to space.
No, like, Animal Crossing's very existence is gonna Like, if nothing else, like it was gonna get on the Game of the Year list anyway, but its very existence precludes Pokemon from getting a nod. But
I
yeah,
don't know about that for me personally.
so just in terms of how, like, I'm putting myself in the mindset of someone who would be voting for these. They're very different. It's like comparing apples and oranges. Like, I'm not comparing the two games in any way. I'm just talking about Game of the Year nominations. Yeah, so you have, say, Valhalla in October, Watch Dogs in November. I think
unless Valhalla wants to drop with the new consoles, and I'm guessing that's November then.
Maybe.
So, like I said, we're all just guessing that we all believe they're all going to probably just drop in November.
That's how it's going to go. October, November, first week of December, February, March. It's just which one of Gods and Monsters and Rainbow Six is in 2020 and which one's in 2021.
It's intriguing.
I keep going backwards and forwards. Because I'm like, Gods and Monsters is quite similar to Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs, whereas Rainbow Six isn't. But then shooters have a tendency to come out away from Call of Duty instead of close to Call of Duty, you know, and you go round and round in your own head. And then you decide to move on to the next news story.
Good idea.
Watch 18 minutes of new Ghost of Tsushima gameplay footage. This was written by Chaim Gartenberg over at The Verge. He writes, Sucker Punch Productions has released a new 18-minute gameplay trailer for its upcoming open-world samurai game, Ghost of Tsushima, showcasing exploration, combat, and customization elements of the game. The new trailer marks the first real footage of Ghost of Tsushima that Sucker Punch has shown since E3 2018, when the studio first showcased the game's mix of swordplay and stealth. Since then, Sucker Punch has also released a story trailer, introducing players to the main protagonist, Jin Sakai. The footage shows off aspects of exploration of the island of Tsushima, where players will be able to summon a ghost and freely travel around the world. A gameplay element lets players summon a gust of wind to direct them to their goal as an unobtrusive guide. Players can be guided towards secrets in the open world by animals, like foxes or birds, leading them to hidden shrines or collectibles. The open world also looks gorgeous, with bamboo, forests, open plains, tall mountains, and fields of swirling flower petals for players to explore. The trailer also better introduces players to Jin, the hero samurai they'll be playing as in Ghost of Tsushima. Combat is said to be inspired by samurai films, with one-on-one standoffs against other warriors that resolve in quick single-blow strikes and parries. Players will have the choice to play honourably as a samurai, or use stealth and assassinations to play as the titular ghost to fight the invading Mongols. To add to the cinematic aspect of the game, players will be able to play the entirety of Ghost of Tsushima with a fully subtitled Japanese voice track, along with an optional black and white film grain filter designed to make it feel more like a classic samurai film. What do you think? What do you think of the whole thing, the whole package? The Ghost of Tsushima state of play that we got on Thursday, I think.
Yeah, it was awful.
I was streaming at the time, so I didn't watch it like straight away.
I don't know. Pretty darn sexy. I won't lie. It was a sexy gameplay demo they showed off.
Do we
here.
need new consoles?
That's true. Like, this was just. It was everything that you wanted. This is basically, I think. I like all the fandoms just thinking this was such fine at Xbox yada. I don't really give a flying hoot about that.
Xbox and Suicide Watch.
But this is what we were hoping to see when, at least something similar to when we saw what we wanted to see from Valhalla. And Sucker Punch came out and they literally blew us away. I thought the gameplay was fantastic. I thought the uniqueness of styles of how you can play this as an honorable warrior or a stealthy evil bad guy who slashes and does it all stealthily. That just opens up to a whole new world of that. You can play two versions of this, and that's like multiple gameplay. So you can literally be good throughout all of it, and then go back and replay it and be a dick for all.
You can be honorable or not honorable, which is like a big thing in samurai culture. It's like what I just said about Splinter Cell Blacklist before, where it's like they just gave you the option. You can do combat, you can do stealth, you know, and it's the same with this. You could be honorable and fight, or you could be dishonorable and do stealth. I'm going to have no choice but to be honorable and fight because I can't do stealth. I'm terrible at it. Like, if there's a stealth option in a game, it's not happening.
What I love so much about what I saw was the uniqueness and the styles they have literally taken from the Japanese. Like how they fire an arrow. They're literally like, it's really high up and they're like that basically. It's so well done. Check out the film The Last Samurai, ladies and gentlemen, with Tom Cruise. Fantastic film. The uniqueness, what they did for that film, they went full in with the culture. This game is, you can literally see they've gone full in with the culture, which is nothing but remarkable. And I love that. I love Japanese culture. I love Asian culture in general, basically. And to know this is coming, it's coming soon. This is fantastic. Everything they were showing you was just nothing but greatness. The you can literally have it as in Japanese voice acting. I think that is fantastic. The black and white mode, I think, looked, when I saw it, I was thinking, wow, that actually looks beautiful. And it's just, yeah. I
It's like
can't
a love
say
letter
anything
to...
bad about this. It was fantastic with the styles of gameplay you can do, like we've just said, honorable or evil, whatever. It's like so well done. Bravo, Sucker Punch. You're sending the PlayStation 4 out in a stupendous way.
PlayStation 4 is like... Whew. It's going out with a bang already. Last of Us Part 2. Ghost of Tsushima. PlayStation 5. Like, PlayStation 5's got a lot to live up to.
Yeah, basically.
Like,
Yeah, basically.
oh shit,
There's
you
no
know,
doubt
like...
about it. No. Yeah, we know there's no doubt about that these two will probably be coming to the PlayStation 5 in remastered types or whatever. But yeah, I can't say anything wrong about this.
No, it's great. I mean, I like the look. I both like and don't like the look of the combat. Like, I need to play it because Sekiro fooled me into thinking it looked amazing, and I was really looking forward to the combat. Excuse me. And then I played the combat, and I was like, "Ooh, this definitely isn't for me." Like, the thing I do like about it is, like, it is like based on parries and opening up your opponents to attacks. One, I don't think they're going to make a mainstream PlayStation 4 exclusive game as difficult as Sekiro. Because that'll just turn people off. But two, like, it's one-hit kills, right? Like, the idea is as in classic samurai film tradition. Like, you do the thing, and you do the thing, ching, 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 and then there's, like, a quick movement and dead, right? That's how it works in samurai films. That sounds awesome. There was a fighting game on PlayStation 1 called Bushido Blade, and it's one of my all-time favorite fighting games because it's like, instead of battering the health bar out of an opponent, like, you're in these fights, and if you hit someone in the leg, they'll start limping. If you hit someone in their arm, they can't use their arm. If you hit someone like in both legs, they go to the ground and they're on the like stuff like that. If you hit them in the head, they die. Like, you've killed them instantly. That's why I love that game, because it was like, you don't just go combo. It's like, nah. I'd play around with Bushido Blade, and me and my mate would be stood for like 2 minutes, just staring at each other, like waiting for someone to make the first move.
You're like,
Oh.
Just hear the epic music,
and then it would be like a fight that lasts like 2 seconds and someone's on the ground. Like, oh, that was amazing! Like, it was such a good game, and I wish they'd make a sequel, like with modern graphics and stuff. This sounds pretty class, but the lack of a HUD has always worried me about this game, because I can get lost. I can get lost in my own house. So, like, wandering around an open world with no, like, objective marker, because I can fully immerse myself in a video game even if there's an objective marker in the distance.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally cool. But if there's this system with the wind and the animals and stuff that guide you to where you need to go, and you can use it at will, like the wind system, then I'm a lot less hesitant about it than I was before. But we'll see how it works, because, like I said, I could get lost. I could get lost going out that door, and I've lived here on and off for decades.
Do I turn left? How do I turn right?
Oh shit! How did I end up at Kid's house?
Oh yeah, I've come to punch him. Talk about that later, ladies.
Speaking of PlayStation, I wanted to do a quick aside on PlayStation. So Sony Interactive Entertainment has rebranded itself to PlayStation Studios. through the week that we just witnessed, and it comes
Yeah.
with a new logo.
Yeah.
And that new logo, it seems incredibly familiar. Would you not agree, Moody? The PlayStation Studios logo, of the full intro sequence of PlayStation Studios. Do you think that looks incredibly familiar from somewhere? I'm trying to remember what it reminds me of. I think it's something very obscure.
Pretty sure. I don't want to know if I'm going to say the wrong thing here, but I just feel like I am. It looks like the MCU.
It's 100% the MCU.
The Marvel Studio logo. There's no doubt about that.
I'm watching it now. Like, yeah. It's the MCU intro, and then it goes to the symbols, and then it spins around, and it's PlayStation Studios. So no, you're not going to say the wrong thing.
That's good.
Because that's exactly what it fucking looks like. Like, I'm going to boot up... I don't know if it's going to be in... I don't know if it's going to be in Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 2, like the new logo. But I'm going to be booting those games up and wondering if... like, what if I'm watching a movie? Like Captain America.
Well, when it comes to their exclusives, they are very proud that they do feel very cinematic and very story-driven and everything, which has always worked for them, especially for the PlayStation 4 era. And to them doing this literally just says, yes, it is quote-unquote stealing from how MCU Disney do it, yada, yada, yada. Nothing wrong with it. If there was a true problem here, I'm sure Disney would be like, yo, what are you doing over there?
I don't think they can. I don't think they can sue over that. But Moody, if people are watching this segment of the podcast, and they're watching me talk a bit of shit, and again, it's a bit fun, right? I'm just talking a bit of shit. PlayStation ripping off the MCU. They might think, damn, Amy, you're being biased, and that's because PlayStation Studios is following in the footsteps of Microsoft Game Studios. Or Xbox Game Studios, who did the exact same thing last year. Like, they rebranded Xbox Game Studios, they've got this new introduction. It's exactly the fucking same. What happened?
They saw that the MCU was working, and
why did everybody rip the MCU off? But the funniest part of the Xbox One is, and I'm sorry, I love like Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo equally like them are children, but at least when you watch the PlayStation one, right? It's fucking Kratos, it's Aloy, it's Ratchet and Clank, like it's Nathan Drake. You watch the Xbox one, and it's got Battletoads, it's got fucking State of Decay, like it's got We Happy Few. Who remembers that game? Like it's like. You know how they've got that on YouTube? They've got the meme version of the Avengers theme tune. It's like that. It's like that should be playing over the Xbox Game Studios logo.
They did throw out some. Some people have liked these games, but
I mean, I like State of Decay too.
One, I didn't. I thought crap.
But it's not like you don't put it on your logo.
No,
like to say we are the best.
Your epic characters, and that's what PlayStation did. They put on their epic characters, and that just kind of shows what a lot of people do believe. Xbox really don't have any true big mascots apart from Halo Man.
No,
Master
Halo
Chief.
Man, Master Chief, Marcus Phoenix, Minecraft Steve, and you could argue that Senua, even though that's a bit iffy because it was a PlayStation exclusive for like 2 years. Like
they could add her for the sequel.
One of Microsoft's most iconic video game characters is a car from Forza. Like, yeah, maybe hold off on this big epic animated introduction sequence for a few years until you've got some iconic characters. Till you've got enough iconic characters to fill it.
The thing is, like, they've had good games, like Cuphead, great exclusive. Yes, it's on.
Not a Game Studios game though.
I know that's the thing about it. I think they basically stop them from putting their great exclusive characters on. Like they can't even do with Ori, can they?
Yeah, it already was published. It already is in the.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. That's how long I haven't watched it, people. Sorry. But no, yeah, like hopefully that's the thing. That's what we're all hoping for with all the studios that Microsoft has acquired.
Yeah.
When they and what we're all hoping for when it comes to July, when they reveal their first party studios, what they've been working on, when we see like the greatness, hopefully the greatness of what is Halo Infinite, the new Forza car, what is the new games going on, like what's Hellblade, Setsuna's Sacrifice in it? No,
Senia's Saga, Hellblade 2.
Saga,
Yeah.
yeah, that one, and then whatever else is coming. What
Yeah,
hopefully
like,
is going to be
again,
a new IP.
I don't care that much. I just.
It's funny.
It is funny. It's like I'm gonna take the piss out of PlayStation Studios, but I also can't not take the piss out of Xbox Game Studios for the same thing. Would have been wrong.
Now all we're doing is waiting for Nintendo to do their version, and then we can all take this out.
Well, they're the ones who have the best position to make a freaking logo like this.
That's true. Like right now, literally just open with open with that, and just end with
Tom
with
Nook.
a person digging with whatever his name is.
Tom Nook.
That's
Like
him.
their list of iconic characters goes so deep they could make the freaking intro last an hour.
Basically, they could literally do Nintendo's Assemble.
Nintendo. How good would that game be? Like a Nintendo All Stars, like RPG thing where it's just like,
You know, that's what they have to do for the next Smash Bros, right?
but it's not Smash Bros. It's like a third person action game, and like all the different characters like have different gameplay styles, like Avengers, the game that's coming out later this year. But good. Speaking of Nintendo, we've had a dig at PlayStation, we've had a dig at Xbox. Movie, what do you say we have a dig at Nintendo?
Why not?
Evo fighting game tournament moves online. Now no one's gonna call. Who's gonna call me a fangirl now, motherfuckers? Evo fighting game tournament moves online without Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is from Wesleyan Poolo for Eurogamer, who writes, Evo, the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, has moved online with one notable omission: Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Evo 2020 was set to take place in Las Vegas this July, but was cancelled due to the coronavirus. When the event was announced, it included tournaments for 8 games: Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Samurai Showdown, Soul Calibur 6 and Under, Night in Birth, EXE, Late Clur. God, I love Japanese fighting games. The Evo Online lineup, however, includes 7 games after organisers ditched Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Evo officials have yet to comment on the omission, but it's widely accepted it's down to the Switch game's ropey online play. Meanwhile, Evo Online will hold open online tournaments for Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, Killer Instinct, Them's Fighting Herds, and Skullgirl's second encore. Evo Online takes place over 5 weekends in July. Moody, Nintendo are one of the biggest, well, for starters, they're one of the 3 major platform holders, right? Making their own platform, making their own system. One of the biggest video game companies in the world, probably one of the richest video game companies in the world, because they were able to release the Wii U and still remain solvent. And their premier fighting game just got removed from the now online-only premier fighting game tournament because it has terrible online play, and was replaced with, and this is absolutely no dig at the game at all, I think it's a fantastic achievement, but was replaced by an indie fighting game that started life as a My Little Pony fan-made fighting game that they then got sued for and cease and desisted, and then had to turn it into a pony-based fighting game that wasn't My Little Pony. That game, which was kickstarted, by the way, has better online multiplayer than Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah. I can't say anything more. You've just said it all.
I mean,
without saying anything, you've said it all.
I mean, normally, right, when you talk about how terrible Nintendo's online services are, like, you generally have to go into a lot of words, and you have to talk about it. You have to talk about how Switch Online works. You have to talk about how, like, it affects all the different games. You have to talk about headsets, which is a whole different thing we don't need to get into. But now we've got this short. We've got Evo. Evo has given us this beautiful shorthand to just. Them's fighting herds has better online than Super Smash Bros. On Ultimate. Them's fighting herds has better online than any game on Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
That's incredible. And again, them's fighting herds. I love it. It's not a knock against them in the slightest. I love the entire story of that game's development. But
I can't say anything, honestly. You've literally said it perfectly without even saying anything.
Nintendo, what the fuck? Get your fucking shit together and build an online service that's fit. Not even for the year 2020. Build an online service that's fit for the year 2010. And then work forwards from there. Christ almighty.
Oh, bless you, Nintendo.
Just, they're the granddad of video games. Jesus.
What the hell is Schoolgirl's Second Encore?
It's a really cool fighting game. So I've been told. I'm not a fighting game fan. So like Evo's not my thing, fighting, but I've heard of Skullgirls before. It's got a really cool art style. Yeah, I'm looking at the Steam page now, looking at the screenshots. I was like, it looks sick. It looks really cool. Very heavily stylized, very anime-esque fighting.
I can imagine it when it says schoolgirls. I can only imagine what it looks like.
Skullgirls. Some good character designs in this, actually. Just flicking through the screenshots, it's like the characters are all very varied. I like it. Them's fighting heads, though. What a story. One day we may go through that story in a video. But for now, we'll talk about Resident Evil.
You don't like talking about Resident Evil, Amy. What's
right.
going on?
All right. Moody, we've talked about this. And I'm sick of talking about Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 8. Because every fucking week, there's one new leak. One. Just one. Couldn't bunch them all up. So we've got, so we can just have a big discussion about it. No. It's one new leak. It got so bad.
The last one, apparently, Leon Kennedy's in the next game.
See what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking
He might be the villain.
I don't care. Fucking
Werewolf.
Why are they remaking? No, we're not going to anyway. The Resident Evil series has now sold 100 million units worldwide. This is from Vicky Blake over at Eurogamer, who writes, the Resident Evil series has now collectively shipped over 100 million copies worldwide. As computed by our pals at VG247, it was back at the end of March that Capcom confirmed that its hugely successful Monster Hunter franchise has shipped 63 million copies, the Street Fighter titles have shifted 44 million units, and the collective sales of its Resident Evil titles had topped 98 million as of 31st of March 2020, falling just short of the 100 million milestone. Wow. Falling just short of the 100 million milestone. Not anymore, though. Citing the continued sales growth of the Resident Evil 2 remake, which has sold over 6.5 million units alone, and the recent successes of Resident Evil 3, which has sold 2 million copies since its release last month, the series has now collectively surpassed 100 million shipped units. Capcom says it remains firmly committed to satisfying the expectations of all stakeholders and will continue to leverage its industry-leading game development. Okay. Industry speak. We're going to keep making money. Cha-ching!
Because we're going to throw out remakes like Resident Evil 4, which we all know you want. And we're probably not going to give you Code Veronica because someone online who we know bitched about it because they weren't doing it, and they just won't do it because he bitched about it. And they blocked him on Twitter as well, so let's not forget that.
Was that not because of the Resident Evil 7 debacle? Yeah. So, for those that don't know, we have to tell the story. A friend of ours, got an early copy of Resident Evil 7, not from Capcom, purchased privately, and decided to stream the game on Twitch. How long was he streaming?
A good 4 hours, I think.
It was hours, right? He streamed it for hours before Capcom turned up, got him suspended from Twitch, blocked him on Twitter. I mean, he was right. He didn't sign up to any embargo.
Didn't do anything wrong. It's not his fault that the game was in a store.
It's not his fault the game was available for him to purchase legally. And it's his game. He can play it if he wants.
Yep.
Like, I respect the hell out of a review embargo if I've agreed to one.
Yeah.
Like, if I manage to get hold of a game without agreeing to a review embargo, it shouldn't matter. But, yeah, anyway, that was, yeah. And strangely, I'm not on Capcom's mailing list either.
Because you were associated with him.
Yeah,
you were on his podcast
I was
for a
on
bit.
his
You said,
podcast.
well, everyone on that podcast is just blocked from us.
Oh, fuck those people. How dare they not respect our review embargo that they never agreed to and didn't even know about? Go figure, right? You're good on Resident Evil though for 100 million copies.
Yeah. Congratulations, like I said, both Resident Evil 2 was for us one of our favorite games last year. We both thoroughly loved Resident Evil 7 and everything, and even though we bitch and complain and we laugh and make fun about it, we are excited for Resident Evil 8 for whenever it comes, and we always will be playing Resident Evil 4 when that comes out and everything. And
I love the distinction.
Excited to it.
We're really excited about Resident Evil 8, and we will certainly play Resident Evil 4.
Oh, I loved Resident Evil 4 when it came out. Had a lot of fun with it.
Resident Evil 4 is a great action game. Again, it's a great game. But you fucking did it. You baited me. I can see the look on your face where you're just like, I think I've got it. Right, here's the thing, right? And I talked about this on the podcast, right? I'm leaning back. I'm putting the microphone up here, so you know I'm serious when I talk about this, right? We're getting into it now. The biggest mistake Resident Evil ever made, right? At the end of Resident Evil 2, the original, the end of Resident Evil 2, it's like, right, we're going to have to go and get Umbrella. And I was like, cool, we're going to fucking nail him to the wall. And then Resident Evil 3 comes out. And it's not, let's go and get Umbrella. But at the end of that game, they're like, right, we need to fucking get Umbrella now. And I'm like, right, cool, fucking hell. There's loads of people going to get Umbrella. And then you get Resident Evil Code Veronica. Chris Redfield, Claire Redfield. Nobody cares about Steve. And then again, that game's like, the end, we're going to fucking get Umbrella. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, they've been building this up for 3 games. Getting Umbrella, that's going to be amazing. You know what happens? Resident Evil 4 comes out. Umbrella gets got in a cutscene at the beginning of the game. It's not even a cutscene, it's just some still images and a graph. Oh, and Umbrella's gone now. And you know what? When I played Resident Evil 3 Remake, and they ended it the way they did, with some very specific dialogue from some very specific character that I'm not going to spoil on this podcast. And I was like, oh shit, maybe they're actually going to make a game where they continue this storyline instead of ditching it for the insanity that was Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6. Nah, we're just going to remake Resident Evil 4 instead because, haha, money. Cool. So, the game's going to be, I'm assuming, really good. I'm not denying that. But that doesn't mean I'm not super disappointed that they've basically made the same mistake they made 20 years ago.
Amy wants to see her Avengers assemble in Resident Evil form, ladies and gentlemen.
I just want to see a cool story. Like, the Resident Evil story goes off the fucking rails. It goes off the rails, which happened to be on the side of a mountain, down the mountain, a fucking avalanche falls on it, and then it blows up. That's how bad the story gets from Resident Evil 4 onwards. It would have been nice if they'd just capped that story off satisfyingly. But considering they made all the same mistakes in Resident Evil 3 Remake that they made in Resident Evil 3 Original, I can't really blame them for making the same mistakes again. But again, Resident Evil 4, it's going to be a cool game. I'm going to play it. It's probably going to be really great. This is what happens when you engage me in Resident Evil, Moody.
I love it. I was literally just thinking, how much can I pay today?
If I just keep talking about Resident
I
Evil,
got it.
if I just keep talking about Resident Evil 4 over and over again, I'm gonna fucking get her. She's gonna go. Wind her up and watch her go. Like, I'm not saying the story of the original 3 Resident Evils was good. It wasn't. It was really cheesy. It was really stupid. But you know what? It was fun.
Sandwich.
It was fun. It was easy to understand. None of this fucking alien parasitic organisms in a meteor that crashed into a crater, and then all of a sudden it's in Africa and it's something different, and now we're killing hordes and hordes of black people in Africa, and it's a bit questionable, and I feel a bit bad while I'm doing it because I'm not racist, but at the same time, like, I am playing a white dude killing all these black people, and there is a story reason behind it, but I still feel a bit weird about it. And then in Resident Evil 6 there was some weird dinosaur creature, and I still don't know where that came from. And there was a character who just punched things.
Voiced by Troy Baker.
Voiced by Troy Baker.
And we all love Troy Baker, ladies and gentlemen.
And then Resident Evil 7 effectively reset the entire franchise. And now apparently there's going to be voodoo and ghosts in the next one.
And
basically,
werewolves.
And werewolves. Sorry, yes, and werewolves. So basically what I'm saying is the story of Resident Evil is nonsense.
It's like the old 20th Century Fox's X-Men, basically, for them. It's just like continuity, continuity.
And then they were like, let's fix it. And they did Days of Future Past, and I was like, I didn't fix anything. You made it
Put
worse.
a nice little bow on the old cast, but...
I mean, it was nice to see the old cast and the new cast in the same film.
Hmm?
And Hugh Jackman just being Wolverine. Anyway,
damn, he got beat. He got beefy there.
He did. I liked his. My favorite Wolverine appearance in an X-Men movie was in X-Men First Class.
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself. Let's move on.
Tell you what you said to me on the first time I met you. Fuck off. No, you actually didn't say that there, James McAvoy. You didn't say that.
Yeah. Sorry for bringing it up in a film all about continuity. Let's move on. Game announcements. This is a new section.
We missed one. I like the BioWare one. No, man.
Yeah. We'll talk about it sometime in the future, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's only coming in June, so.
This is a new This is a new section of the podcast where I've compiled a list of all the game announcements, game release date announcements, and game delays, in one handy little list that I'm going to read through right now. So the announcements for last week were Paper Mario: The Origami King heading to Nintendo Switch on July 17th. Fortnite's heading to PS5 and Xbox Series X at launch. Iron Man VR is heading to PSVR on July 3rd. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater Remastered 1 and 2 is heading to PS4, Xbox One, and PC on September 4th. There's a Mafia 1 remake heading to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Stadia, and Mafia 2 and 3 Remastered heading to the same consoles. Crusader Kings 3 is heading to PC and Xbox Game Pass for PC on September 1st. PGA Tour 2K21 is heading to PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia on August 21st, and Guilty Gear Strive was delayed to 2021. You looked a bit confused there, Moody, when I said Paper Mario: The Origami King.
I didn't know this was coming.
No one did.
I didn't even see the announcement.
How do you think it was announced?
I have no idea.
If you had to take,
on YouTube.
If you had to take a wild stab in the dark as to how this was announced.
It dropped a trailer on YouTube.
I mean, there is a video on YouTube.
Okay.
It was announced on May 14th at 2 p.m. British summertime by the Nintendo of America account on Twitter. That was how that was announced.
Cool.
It's no Nintendo Direct.
Well, they did say they're not doing one for a while.
They're not doing one in June, so I guess, yeah, cool. So this whole, big, huge blowout we're going to have of Mario, it's we're going to have to pay really close attention to make sure we don't miss any of the games that come out.
That's true.
because apparently this is how Nintendo do things now. They're pissed off with Sony stealing the formula for the Nintendo Direct. They're like, you know what, fuck y'all, we're going to do something different. We could do it on Twitter. Crazy.
I'm sure, like, if I was like in the Nintendo verse and everything in the ecos, I probably would have heard this, but like I honestly had no idea. I was just like, oh, okay.
I missed it. I only knew about it because of someone tweeting about how crazy it was that Nintendo just announced the Paper Mario sequel on Twitter, to which I was like, they did what? And then searched it and found it on Twitter. I was like, what? Like, huh.
When you've got Jeff Keighley literally sitting at home ready to announce
Yeah,
things.
it's like, hey guys, Summer Games Fest, anyone?
Basically, yeah. It's a bit crazy, there's no doubt about that. Fortnite one, that's not surprising whatsoever. No. The VR one, we all knew it was gonna. The Iron Man ones, we all knew it was gonna get a new release date eventually.
Once they figure shit out.
Yeah. The Tony Hawk's one, that was the surprise announcement that was obviously revealed by Jeff Keighley on Tuesday.
Yeah, that was the Sunrise game, right? I was watching a speedrun on YouTube, and I'd forgotten entirely that this was happening. And you messaged the group chat with the link to the live stream. I clicked it. I was like, what's this? And then it was like, it's Tony Hawk. And I was like, cool. And then I closed it and I went back to watch my speedrun. Nothing against Tony Hawk. I was just like, not interested.
Yeah,
personally.
like for people who loved and grew up on the Tony Hawk series, this is fantastic for them. And like when they showed the side by side cuts of like what's changed and how it looks very pretty and well done to them and everything. And I think it's fantastic for people who are a fan of the series, especially as they completely kicked in the nuts with Tony Hawk's 5. So for them to get this is fantastic for them. I'm so happy for them. And if all I want you to do, ladies and gentlemen, who love this franchise, go out and buy it. It's 30 quid, I think, or 40 quid. It's cheap as hell. That's 2 games. That's fantastic. Give us some support.
Yeah. Available exclusively on the Epic Game Store if you're a PC gamer. Which crashed this week because Grand Theft Auto 5 is free on it.
Now the Mafia one, I've heard things about that, but is it just a remaster, or is it actually the remake into the levels of what I'm thinking anyway? Like Resident Evil.
I had to do a bit of a dive on this one, where it was a case of 2 and 3 are remastered, and they're coming at some point. Pretty soon.
2's really good. 3 I did not enjoy.
3 I didn't enjoy. 3. 2 I love 2. I never finished it though. I got it free with a graphics card, I think.
Nice.
That I bought. That was what got me into it. 1 I've never played. But so the second one and the third one are remastered and they're going to come out. There's no point in remaking, especially the third one, because it only came out a few years ago. The first one, I don't think it's like a full-on remake in terms of like Resident Evil. But all of the graphics and the assets and stuff like that have definitely been remade because the game looks ridiculously like it's not just been upscaled to HD. Like the assets have been remade, and that's gonna be coming out later. So
Mafia 2 and 3 are coming out remastered. Are coming out before that.
Fairly, yeah. So it's like it's a lot like the same situation you've got with the Halo Master Chief Collection on PC, where they're releasing one game at a time. I think it's some, and again, I'm not 100% on this because it's very confusing, but I'm pretty sure it's a Mafia trilogy collection, but not all the games are releasing at the same time. But you'll get them if you've got the Mafia trilogy collection. Like how if you've got the Master Chief Collection on PC, when Halo 3 and Halo 4 and Halo 5 come out, you'll just get them, but you don't have them straight away.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Someone's making coffee in. With like proper coffee beans in here, in the house. I can smell it.
It's a little late to have a coffee.
Oh god.
Stay up all night.
Mate.
That's true. Yeah, but your sleep pattern's all over the place, so.
My sleep pattern hasn't changed for months, I'll have you know. How dare you? Just because it was always been terrible, don't try and blame this on the quarantine.
That's true.
Let's move on to the content drop. I gave it a fancy name because extracurricular activities sounded like it was trying to make you do work, and I don't want to make you think like I'm trying to make you do work. I'm just content drop is where I give you some recommendations for some shit to watch and give you recommendations for some shit to read because it's interesting. And I've added one from Moody on the end of here because he mentioned it before we started recording. First thing, E3 2020 schedule guide. All alternative E3 conference dates, times, and streams announced so far. This is over on Eurogamer. All these links, by the way, will be in the description below the video on YouTube. This is from Eurogamer, someone has finally, because Summer Games Fest does not collate all the information into one place. It just doesn't. I wish it did. Someone has finally made that list of everything that's happening. Like, this summer. It's so helpful. So if you're found yourself a bit lost and a bit confused, head on to that link. The next one is an interesting article over at Kotaku, which is called Halo Devs Reveal How Much Work Goes Into Fixing One Bug, which is a very interesting read, if you're into that kind of thing.
For me, as a QA who wants to become a QA guy, ladies and gentlemen, and if you want to become a QA guy, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be right up your alley, that one.
The next one is a PC Gamer article. Oh good, someone invented the first AI capable of crying. Which I'm not going to spoil it. Go read it. It's really funny and interesting. Article about AI. And the last item on the content drop is the latest NoClip documentary, The History of Creative Assembly, which you were talking about before we started recording, so I thought I'd better put it on here.
Very good. It's a very good watch. He does very good documentaries, so I can't say anything bad about it.
Every time like a NoClip documentary drops, I feel like we're probably going to end up putting it in the content drop, but
that's true.
Yeah, it's I love NoClip, so I'll probably be taking that recommendation myself tonight. But let's move on. Games out this week. Mooney, we got some games coming out this week. Crazy, right?
Hallelujah.
On May 19th, we've got The Wonderful 101 Remastered for PC, PS4, and Switch. The Wonderful 101 is a Unite action-adventure game developed by Platinum Games Inc., directed by action game luminary Hideki Kamiya, and originally released on the Nintendo Wii U. In this game, players take control of the Wonderful Ones, heroes from all over the world chosen to defend the Earth from all manner of extraterrestrial threats. Also on May 19th, we've got Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe for PC. Guide local radio hosts Poe and Monroe through 6 TV-like episodes of supernatural strangeness and sizzling on-screen chemistry, from the creators of The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker and The Shape-Shifting Detective. On May 20th, we've got Crucible coming to PC. Crucible is a team-based action shooter driven by the choices you make. Each match in Crucible is a fight for survival and control. Not only will you be going toe-to-toe with your fellow competitors, but you'll have to adapt and overcome all the challenges the planet itself throws your way. You and your teammates will need to work together to take down alien creatures, capture objectives, and pursue your opponents in search of victory. Also on May 20th, Cannibal Cuisine for PC. I copy-pasted this description and it's like, okay, I think I can say this. The god Huchubu is hungry for you. But as all good cannibal cooks know, serving is better than being served. Chop up vegetables, fruits, and tourists, and serve your divine delicacies in arcade style with up to 4 chefs. Let's co-op cook 'em up. Also on May 20th, we've got Neversong for PC. Once upon a time, there was a little boy named Pete who slept peacefully in a coma. When his eyes opened, he found himself in a nightmare. Literally, that's the description of the game on Steam.
Respect.
I respect the dedication of that. Still don't know what the game is, though.
We don't want to tell you nothing about our game, but we have to give you some little description, so here we go.
Yeah, I don't make these up myself, by the way. I don't write these myself. I literally just copy-paste them. On May 21st, we've got Timely coming to PC. Control time like a media player and work with a mysterious cat as you solve puzzles and uncover the secrets of a strange, surreal world. Sneak, solve, and escape together. On May 22nd, we've got Maneater for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Experience the ultimate power fantasy as the apex predator of the seas, a giant shark. Terrorize the coastal waterways, tear swimmers and divers limb from limb, give the humans a reason to fear you. And lastly, on May 22nd, we've got Saints Row the Third Remastered coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Saints Row the Third Remastered gives you control of the Saints at the height of their power, and you live the life to show for it. This is your city. These are your rules. Remastered with enhanced graphics, Steelport, the original City of Sin, the original City of Sin, has never looked so good as it drowns in sex, drugs, and guns. Great game. Loved that game when it came out. Bought that game with my Kinect. Weirdly enough.
A weird combination.
It was like, it was the package. You bought the Kinect, and it was like, you bought like, in the package was like 3 games.
Yeah.
Like that you could select. And the only one I wanted was Dance Central for the Kinect, so I ended up buying Saints Row the Third. I can't remember what the third game was. I think it might have been FIFA, which I then traded in. Almost immediately. Anyway, there's some cool games on the list. Crucible is Amazon's Studio's first game, which I should be checking out. I might check out on stream through the week. And Dark Knights with more Paul Monroe I already have. So expect a video about that soon. Moody, let's get to the part I've been looking forward to the most all week. Or at least since you jumped into my Twitch stream and pointed some stuff out. I mean, let's play OpenCritic Head-To-Head. That's right, I finally named it. This is a game me and Moody play each week, where we try to guess the OpenCritic average of one upcoming game. Whoever guesses closest gets 1 point. If you manage to guess the score completely correctly, you get 2 points. Last week we tried to guess the OpenCritic average score of Deep Rock Galactic, which came out on PC and Xbox. I've been playing that. It's actually quite a lot of fun. I guessed that it would get an OpenCritic average of 77. Moody, you guessed it would get an OpenCritic average of 73. At the time of recording, it has an OpenCritic average of 86, which means Amy gets the point. But that's not all. Is it, Moody? Because we also held a game over from the week before, which didn't have an OpenCritic score. So the week before, Moody and I tried to guess the OpenCritic average of Legends of Runeterra, which finally got an OpenCritic average on Thursday night, as Moody jumped into my stream to point out. I guessed that it would get an OpenCritic average of 86. Moody guessed it would get an OpenCritic average of 75. At the time of recording, Legends of Runeterra has an OpenCritic average of 89, which means Amy gets the point for that, which means the current scores, for the first time in 2020, Amy's in the lead. Amy 8, Moody 7. I guess closest on Dreams, Warcraft 3, One Punch Man, Half-Life Alyx, Resident Evil 3, Gears Tactics, Legends of Runeterra, and Deep Rock Galactic. Moody guessed closest on Zombie Army 4, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, XCOM Chimera Squad, and you guessed the score dead on for Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Moody, this week, I need the Jaws theme, because we're doing Mania. What do you think the OpenCritic average of Man Eater, the Shark PG as it was called at E3 last year? I can't remember if I called it that myself or if I heard it and repeated it, but that was the name that stuck. What are you thinking?
I honestly haven't got a clue. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't even seen a single bit about this game whatsoever. That's so much attention I was paying for E3 last year.
That's where I get the benefit of sitting through all of those PC gaming shows.
That's fair.
It was Russell's, one of Russell's favourite games of E3.
That's it.
Yeah, I remember we did the voting, and it was in his top indie games list. It was actually his number one choice for top indie games.
Game of E3, was it?
Yeah, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I just remember he really loved the idea of being a shark, and it's an RPG, and you just eat people. Sounds pretty cool, to be fair.
Sounds like it would get really boring really fast.
Well, I wouldn't know anything about that.
I'm gonna stick to my guns. I think it'll be 70.
Interesting.
I think it would actually go up. I think it'd actually be lower, but I'm gonna try and stay above it.
70, eh? Well, Moody, as you know, I always write down my guess before you've said your guess.
Yes, you do.
Which is on this note, on this post-it note. So if you want to verify it, you can always ask me for a picture. But I'm guessing 71.
Oh, for fudge sake!
I thought we were in a Gears Tactics situation where I had to where I was gonna have to move my scope, but no, we're all good. Do you know the most surprising thing though?
I don't know if I like my number anymore now.
We're close again, so
Yeah, and I don't like that. Because that's hurt me too much for the last 2 rounds.
The Gears Tactics thing was your fault because I asked if I should go higher or lower, and you told me higher, and I went higher, and it went higher. You gave me that advice, Moody, and I just took it.
That's the thing. I can see myself changing it, and then it'll be bloody 70, won't it?
You'll go 72 then, and it'll go to 70, and I'll just I'll send you another Carlton dancing gif on the Words About Gamescast group chat.
And then I just won't show up next.
And then you'll be like, "Fuck you and fuck this podcast." Moody, you've literally been leading for the first 4 months of 2020. Let me have this moment.
I wanted to keep my lead. No, I'll stick to 70. I'm good. I'm confident it's going to be lower, if not even on land on 70. It's going to be 71, isn't it?
It's gonna. I'd be amazing if it was. We'll find out. It comes out on Friday, so we'll find out some point through the week. We've got time for a very quick post-show discussion. Now we have something that we were talking about pre-show that we want to talk about post-show. But first, I was just looking up stuff for games that are coming out, and I know what game we'll be doing for OpenCritic next week will be Minecraft Dungeons. Fast and Furious Crossroads is still supposedly coming out on March 31st.
Hell, you seen it?
Remember that game? That big game where Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez announced at the Game Awards. It was the one more thing. Yeah. It was the one more thing of the Game Awards. Everything still points to March 31st.
What, 2021?
2020.
They're very late.
Indeed. I mean, it's not coming out, right? This is another Mighty Number 9 situation. I remember this happened to Mighty Number 9 once. We were on the podcast going, yeah, Mighty Number 9 is supposed to come out next week. It's not happening. Because no one had said anything about the game for 6 months.
I think someone should question Jeff Kelly about this. Yo, dude, you're the one who revealed it.
I remember.
I put it on your show to reveal it, so what's going on here?
Yeah. Actually, I remember winding a lot of people up with Mighty Number 9 because I managed to get to play it before the Kickstarter backers because there was a demo at EGX.
Nice.
Not for all the people who had actually backed it on Kickstarter and hadn't played it yet.
So what, you played it, you went, yep, I'm not backing this.
No, it was years after the Kickstarter when I played it. I played it on Brexit night, Moody. I compounded one bad night with, a terrible game. Where it was because it was on my desk, was on the other side. And I had the TV here, and I had BBC News on, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to sleep. So I had BBC News on one monitor, and I was playing Mighty Number fucking 9 on the other monitor. And that was depressing me, and this was depressing me. Everything about that night was awful.
I slept like a baby that night, because when I woke up, I just laughed. When I found out I was thinking, of course it happened. Of course it did.
If only we knew that was the beginning of the apocalypse. And yeah, the entire time I was playing Mighty Number 9, which was just thoroughly disappointing me at every turn. That's why it's those two things in unison, that make that night so memorable, where it was not only was Brexit happening right before my eyes, but I was also playing one of the most disappointing video games I'd ever played.
So what were you playing on the general election in December last year then?
Oh my god, what was I playing?
Oh, were you just stuffing your head under a pillar?
I didn't watch any of that. any of that general election coverage. To be honest, I was probably playing Star Wars. But again, it's not memorable because I wasn't playing one of the I wasn't playing something terrible while something terrible was happening.
Yeah.
So it was either Star Wars or Pokemon, but I didn't stay up for that. I already knew that was going to be a shit show. I was at Keith's. I remember I went to see Keith. I was at his house. Avoiding it. Speaking of Keith, we worked something out at the beginning of this. Before we started recording this podcast, we worked something out. I've written it down. Is Keith an Xbox fanboy? Because we were talking about the evidence at the beginning of this podcast, or before the beginning of this podcast. I don't remember what the topic of discussion was. I just remember it turned on a God of War. Which Keith does not like, apparently, which I found out on Wednesday while we were playing Apex Legends. And it got me thinking. Doesn't like God of War. He doesn't like Horizon Zero Dawn. He's never played The Last of Us. Because, quote, he's sick of zombie games.
It's not a zombie game.
I mean, yeah, it's not a zombie game. And two, we played quite a lot of World War Z last year. Just going to throw that out there.
If you're not helping yourself here, lad.
Yeah. And it's like, but he's always talking about how much he loves his narrative games, but he hasn't played those 3 games. Or he doesn't like those 3 games. No, I'm just putting words in his mouth. No, of course he hasn't tried Uncharted. Are you kidding me? He's always complaining. He hasn't played Uncharted. Any of them. Despite the fact that if you had PS Plus last month, you get all 4 of them for free. Like, the entire thing. Hasn't played Journey, now that I come to think about it. What other, like, amazing, like, narrative experiences are there available on PlayStation 4? Like, those are the big ones, right?
Yeah, the big ones. Until Dawn, that's a good one.
Yeah, he hasn't played that. I know he hasn't played that either. Detroit Become Human, he actually did play that, but that's only because me and Tom were here playing it. We played the whole thing over a weekend. So, because Tom was visiting from Leeds, people were coming up to see Tom, who was here, and all me and Tom were doing was literally for that entire weekend, we just sat here and played Detroit Become Human. Because it was before I came out, when I was still sort of in that experimental phase of, like, with my transition. So my parents were gone for the weekend. So I was like, cool, I'm going to go nuts with, like, makeup and clothes and whatnot. And Tom was visiting at the time. So it was like, okay, cool. And I'll be doing it in front of other people and stuff. But we played that game from start to finish. And Keith came around to see him on the Sunday. And it was like, well, we're not stopping. Like, because, like, we started this journey together. We're going to finish it together before he left. So he's played that. More or less against his will, but I wouldn't blame him on that one because that's not a great narrative adventure. But then you go to the flip side of the coin. Ori is a fantastic franchise, right? But he's played multiple Gears of War games. He irrationally defends the storyline of Halo to the point where there's an upcoming friendly debate about sequels that do things better than their predecessors. And there's a specific game in there, which is a Halo game, that he's getting pulled up on immediately. I'm just going to put that out there. Discuss, Moody. Are these the thoughts of a rational and unbiased person?
No.
I'm right?
Yep, he's an Xbox fanboy. It's clear.
It's the only
I bet he loved that Xbox thieving MCU thingy. I bet he loves that compared to my PlayStation.
Oh, yeah. He'll be like, look at all those iconic characters. Like Car from Forza. And Battletoads from game that hasn't come out yet. And both from Sea of Thieves.
Well, yeah.
We got him.
You have got him with simple, easy facts. I expect his rebuttal from next week. So, Keith, We expect you to hear this, and trust me, Keith, you will see it because when Amy puts this out, I'm gonna be tweeting you at this
with the timestamp.
Yes.
Moody's gonna download the podcast himself, edit this part out, put it on Twitter, and tag you in it.
Yep. Keith, rebuttal, please.
Also, in the timestamps, it's going to say post-show discussion, and in brackets at one point, it's going to say Keith is an Xbox fanboy with a question mark.
Is this true, Keith? Tell us now.
True or false? Keith is an
Should we
Xbox
send you
fanboy.
to the My Xbox and Me fan club?
Like, I think we should get him in touch with Fixer, because I think we found him a new.
Should, yeah.
We found him a new contributor.
Clearly. Who are Keith?
Yeah.
Who a Fixer? Which one?
Fixer proudly calls himself an Xbox fan boy. And to be fair, like I even said it halfway through the podcast, I'm a fangirl of all three of them. So not so much PC. But
PC sucks.
PC
Fuck
sucks.
Master Race.
Yeah, I don't like that term either. It hangs up there with Get Good, where it was a funny joke until it wasn't a joke anymore. I think that's there. Like I can't think of anything else I want to talk about other than the fact that I've been sweating my tits off for the last hour and a half.
Well, I've had more.
And I just got these things.
Hour and a half than I have for the last 2 days.
Yeah, that's the effect, right? As soon as this camera gets turned off, and like Keith Russell, everybody who's ever been on podcasts with me have seen this phenomenon happen literally in front of their eyes, right? This camera gets turned on for a stream, a podcast, any sort of video, and it's like it's at the Duracell bunny. And all of a sudden I can just go for it. I've got the energy, and I'm talking, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I'm moving, and energetic. But then we'll finish, and I'll just be like, and it's just gone. Like, it's like flipping a switch.
It really is.
Bing! And then the podcast's over, and I go, cool, I can relax now.
I'm chilling.
Gotta
Time
get
to
this.
switch off.
Gotta take all this makeup off. This lipstick was far brighter than I assumed it was before I put it on.
It's the same color as your shirt.
I know. I was like, ooh, red. It'll match my shirt. And then I put it on, and I was like, that's really red. Wow.
And you got your red locks, and it's just like, oh my god.
Oh, don't talk to me about my hair. I need to dye my hair. It's so bad. Like, I tried to dye it myself in quarantine, and it was a fucking disaster. I missed so much of it.
The simpleness of just having a short hair.
Yeah. Well, my friend usually does it. And she was gonna come over the week before I got self-isolated, and then she didn't. And then we were arranging it for the next week, and then I had symptoms, so obviously I was isolated. And then the next week, the whole country got put in lockdown, and it was like, no, I need my hair done. No.
It's like, oh, Fixer, he hasn't had a haircut for weeks, and he just keeps pushing out. He won't let his partner cut his hair because he says, I don't trust her.
I had the scissors in my hand, Moody, this past week. I think we talked about this on a live stream where I was like, I'm dangerously close to giving myself a quarantine cut. Like, I'm dangerously close to giving myself bangs. I had the scissors in my hand, and I was literally going to cut the fringe out into bangs. Because, again, my self-isolation ended the day the lockdown started. I was literally, on that day the lockdown started, planning to go and get a haircut.
She was, Liz. Yeah, she was ready in for her life. She's like, I was locked in for a week. I'm ready to get back out there.
I was going to go.
Has life changed? Is dating changed? Who knows?
I don't... Dating is a minefield for me. That's an entire 1 hour and 50-minute podcast all on its own.
I was going for a coffee changed.
Be a trans girl and try dating. No, I was gonna go and get my eyebrows done, get my hair done. The order comes down on the Monday night. No, I can't do that. But I'm still not going out and joining all the idiots who are protesting the lockdown. Because I'll survive. I'll survive without a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
It's the KFC part that I'm iffy on. That might be the bit that kills me.
She's waiting for them to turn into a delivery service.
Problem is, I think even if it turns into a delivery service, there's not one close enough where I feel like we'll be inside the delivery radius. So even then, I think I'm still screwed. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta. Everybody's gotta make sacrifices. Hello, Sofia.
The full moon has come out.
She does know this is still part of the podcast, right?
Yeah, I don't think she has to go. Just so you know, we're still podcasting. No, we're still podcasting.
Oh no, it's not your fault. It's just I know how I know how some people are about being on podcasts and stuff.
She's calling you worse than shit, Sophia. So
You know,
she
I
can't
can
play
just
next week.
I can just send her the video, right?
Says she can send you the video. That's all she wants, she says.
Alright. That's going to do it for episode 206 of the Words About Gamescast. Thank you very much for joining us, for watching us through this insanity. Yeah, let's salute. Do we salute?
At least we got to actually finish properly this time because I cut out last time.
Yeah, you cut out last time while I was talking about Sea of Thieves.
And that's right.
You were like this, your microphone was down here, and you were like... Thank you very much for joining me, Mr. Mooney.
Thank you very much for having me, Amy.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Let's do that.